On this week's episode, is there too much Sonic the Hedgehog? Is it truly Bond, James Bond? And what types of pop culture board gaming this should you play very soon? All this and more as we reach our next stop, the PCC Multiverse. And we're back with another episode of the PCC Multiverse. This is Gerald Glassford from Pop Culture Cosmos and Game Source. Thank you so much for listening to all of our great shows. But for this special edition, we're going to have Josh Peterson coming up later in the program. We're going to be talking about the controversy in regards to Sonic the Hedgehog. What's that? Is there hair drying? Sound like a hair dryer.
It's my computer.
No worries. And so, yes, we've got Josh Peterson coming up a little bit later in the program talking about Sonic the Hedgehog. Rob McCallum in the middle of the Cosmic Crossfire talking about the latest James Bond controversy, plus also as well a clip from one of the latest Topicocalypse shows. But first, my good friend is here. He is one of the crazy kids behind Mario Party Wars. You got to check it out today. Mario Party Wars on Facebook, Mario Party Wars on Twitter, and of course, they do a lot of streaming out on Twitch at Mario Party Wars. Plus, also there's first-person shooter nights with Bad Luck Yelthin, and they also have their tournaments up there as well. It's my good friend to talk. Well, our expert when it comes to board gaming, my good friend Salvador Villa. What's going on, my friend?
It's a pleasure to be here, Gerald. Thank you for having me. I'm doing good, by the way.
Oh, that's good. That's good. You've had it sounds like you've had a much better week than I have. Mine has been like a roller coaster like you would not believe. But I am here now talking with you and just appreciating everything that you're doing for us, not only here, but also as well the Pop Culture Cosmos show. But we'll get into that in get into that a little bit. First, I want to talk to you about board gaming, because you are the man in the know when it comes to board gaming. There is a lot of pop culture things I wanted to talk about when it comes to board games. Obviously, the icons of pop culture are there as far as when it comes to board games for Star Wars, Jurassic Park, Star Trek, you name it, they're probably out there. But I want to hear your thoughts on some pop culture board games that you really think people should try, for a game night very soon.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, you're right. Tabletop gaming and pop culture as a whole has kind of blended together now. I probably can't think of any series at this point, like whether it's about games or movies or anything like that, that probably hasn't had some kind of interpretation and or adaptation for board games. But for the most part, so I haven't played, I would say, too many pop culture tabletop games, but there are a few I feel like are great startups to at least getting into, like, if you really are into pop culture and you really want to play them. I have a few recommendations along with like those that I haven't played, but I've heard many good things about over the years already. But so the first one, I don't know if you're familiar with Love Letter, but it's a very simple and classic card game where it's literally you play with other people and you draw and you play actions. That's literally how your turn goes. And the point of the game is to get the highest numbered card, which is usually going from 1 through 8. But like it originally just starts with the princess. The point of the game is to find the princess. But over the years, I actually have one version that I really love. Love Letter, The Hobbit from the Battle of the Five Armies. Love Letter has probably interpreted more pop culture than any game I know of for the most part. They have this. They have one for Batman. They have one for Munchkin if you're already into like tabletop gaming as a whole. A bunch of others, and so a lot of them play a little bit different from like the normal one, but they're really fun games. They still keep that very simple kind of charm that Love Letter is, which is just to be either the last person standing or to get the highest numbered card toward the end of the game. And so like for a very simple game and one that has like a lot of adaptation to it, I would recommend Love Letter for sure. And you can pretty much find it at any store, like any basic tabletop store. They'll have pretty much in almost any adaptation of Love Letter. Some more than others, but you can definitely find a bunch of them around in any store.
Well, it sounds like they have almost as many pop culture references or pop culture versions of this particular game as almost as much as Monopoly, because you and I both know when it comes to the king of offshooting itself into various pop culture realities, Monopoly is still the king out there.
Yeah. The closest thing against Monopoly right now is Munchkin, because Munchkin, I think, has like 20 years under its belt. So it's pretty old on its own for a game probably that is not nearly as popular as Monopoly, but it has so many different pop culture versions that you can just combine with the different decks. And for those of you who haven't played Munchkin yet, I do recommend that game specifically with a large group of friends. It's a pretty fun game.
Now, there are other games out there that I know you've been targeting. I know you've been playing because when you follow Salvador Villa at Mario Party Wars, he is inevitably going to show you that he's somewhere in the city of Las Vegas at some game store playing any number of board games out there. And you just came back recently from the latest national board gaming tournament, the one that was just happened recently, correct?
Unraveled, yeah. So this one was more of a like a little special, I guess, like regional type of event. I don't know what's gonna happen following this because I've heard a few like financial problems that they're facing right now. Even though last year was amazing for like their finals, it was really amazing. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, that was a fantastic day. For anyone who hasn't seen Unrivaled, I highly recommend checking them out. Even if there's a little bit of issues going on right now, it's a really great idea what they're doing, and hopefully to see what happens in the future with them.
What was some of the games that was recently shown at the Unrivaled tournament? Because these are games that are not only very popular with the strategic hardcore audience, but they obviously have a line of people that could be as well from a casual standpoint as well.
Yeah, so essentially for a casual standpoint, I would say one of the most popular games, I would say like it's really popular, is Exploding Kittens, which is literally it's a simple card game where you just play against a group of friends. You all have a diffuser, and in the deck there's like 5 or 6 bombs, and basically the point of the game is to play your cards as different actions and try to be the last one standing before the bombs get you. And it's just one of those simple games, and that's what I really like about Unravel as a whole. It's games like that where, like, with some of them you don't need like absolute skill. Sometimes it's just more about having fun.
Well, Exploding Kittens has been huge now for what, 2, 3, even 4 years going back. From what I remember, I know it's a big seller at Amazon. I've seen it not only in the top 100, but I believe also in the top 10 of selling board games or card games of its like, as far as Exploding Kittens. Plus also Walmart and Target, I believe, have picked it up as well. I've seen it in Target stores, in fact. So it has crossed over into the mainstream and become a big seller in the board gaming world.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that one, I would say that one tops most of the others that I saw for like what they were trying to do this year for Unrivaled. Although I competed in the Evolution tournament, which is that one is definitely more strategic, but it's a card game of creating your own species. I would just say they're dinosaurs, but to each their own of how they want to interpret it, because they're basically called species, and you basically use cards to strengthen your species and to either earn as much points by like making your species survive, or attacking the other players using like carnivore to eat your opponent's species, among other things, to gather points. And once the deck runs out, it's whoever has the most points at the end of the game that wins. I almost won. I needed just like one or two more turns, but congrats to the winners that did make it past me.
Well, we'll let them slide for this time, but next year I'm sure we'll get them. Now, there obviously are a lot of games out there that, as the summer's closing and getting into the fall and back to school time, but there's still some time to play some great games out there. what are some more recommendations that you have as for board gaming, pop culture related or not, for some really top choices for the rest of this summer?
Yeah, well, so I'm gonna go into maybe one that's pop culture based. I know the Lovecraft series, so anyone who loves stuff like Cthulhu and the lore behind those kind of that kind of literature and stuff. Um, I've played the Arkham series. There's like Arkham Mansion, Mansion of Madness, Arkham Horror, quite a few variations of the different games that can be played for it. Um, but I would recommend the Arkham series, whether it's like Elder Sign, which is like a smaller version of what the others are, or the one I've played personally, Arkham Horror. Um, Not a game I would recommend to a beginner because it's very complex and it like setup takes quite a while to build, and for the most part, the game goes against you. But if you love like Cthulhu, if you love the Lovecraft lore, the Arkham series for sure is a great game. It's a great strategy game, and specifically, it's a co-op game, so it's a great way for you and your close friends to actually get to play and try to seal back the ancient ones that are trying to escape and cause havoc to the world that, for whatever reason, that they were summoned. So for sure, the Arkham series, I know for anyone who loves strategy games and specifically co-op games, I would recommend those that has like a pop culture feel to it, especially for the Lovecraft lore.
Oh, sweet, sweet. That sounds awesome, Anid. I also want to ask you about, in recent times, I've noted on our Pop Culture Cosmos social media outlets that Hasbro, which owns the rights to not only Dungeons and Dragons but also owns the rights to Magic the Gathering, not only are they talking about doing something later this year or in the future, talking about combining as far as a game element between those two major icons of the gaming industry, but also the fact that Dungeons and Dragons, according to the Hasbro CEO, is doing better than ever before. What are your thoughts on all that when it comes to Magic the Gathering, the success of Dungeons and Dragons? And is there anything really that you play that matches or something similar as far as the fantasy world, if they do not want to go exactly and delve into the deeper world of Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah, so I'm not much of an RPG player, mostly because I don't have time to like create a character and meet up with my friends to like do very specific sessions for a campaign. But yeah, for the most part, over the last, I would say, a good 5 years, role playing games has definitely spiked in the interest. I would say specifically it's thanks to the tabletop industry and how much it's growing over the years, with the amount of developers and publishers that are now entering the market. So many games that are coming out. And so the interest of tabletop gaming as a whole has really brought that back. And yeah, for the most part, Hasbro, Wizard of the Coast, for Magic the Gathering, they've all been like trying to push their games to the market. And thanks to the fact that you have so many other things that's combined with RPG games, like cosplaying is a big thing because people love to cosplay and play role playing games. You have things like Geek and Sundry that have started like live role playing games that people can actually watch being streamed. The players actually act out their characters as they're playing their campaign. There's a lot that has evolved over the years, especially for games like role playing RPGs and things or miniatures as well. That has really pushed and gotten the interest more for everyone around, especially for those that maybe have never had the chance to play it, and now they get opportunities to do so. But in terms of like games I've played that are like almost to RPGs, although I'm not like a huge miniatures fan, I do love certain miniature games, those that aren't like as easily complex. One I've gotten to personally play in the past at MeepleCon is called Fury of Dracula. And for those of you who love vampires, it's a great miniature game of either you are on the opposing team to hound down Dracula, or you play as Dracula and try to avoid the humans and or hunters that are trying to come after you, using a variety of different tactics on the board to play against.
Oh, that's some great ideas there. as far as something that if you don't have the time to delve into the world of Dungeons and Dragons or Magic the Gathering, because those two games, as great as they are, they do take quite a time investment and also a monetary is one as well, that this could be an alternative that people might see as far as getting into that at least delves into some of those aspects as well. One last thing before we head on to other things, my friend, is that I want to ask you, for those that are kind of maybe leery on getting into it, they want to dip their toes in the water when it comes to board gaming. Let's say they come and see you, you're there at the board game, at the board game store. They see you there. They know they know who you are from all the great things that you're doing in Mario Party Wars and the big celebrity that you are. They walk in there, and after they get your autograph, they say, Sal, you got to help me, man. You got to help me. I'm a novice to board gaming. I want you to lead me into the right direction. Your choice for, I guess, starting board gamers, as far as what would be a great place to start for just people just getting into the board gaming scene.
So probably so I would have a variety of different ones depending on, like, I would ask them first, like, what kind of games do you think you'd be into? Like short games, long games, it would depend. But games like Munchkin, for a little bit longer sessions, I would definitely recommend, especially with a group. Love Letter, which I recommended earlier, for a very, very simple game, one that people can just pick up on in like 5 minutes, and they get to play and see the kind of interactivity and experience that tabletop gaming can offer. Exploding Kids is definitely another great recommendation for sure for someone who's just starting off. I would also say Settlers of Catan, although that one is a little more complex. If they're into more strategy rather than like simplistic, for sure it's a great game I would recommend as well. And then for anyone who's like more about just literally trying to mess with their friends or trying to get relaxed into meeting new people, games like Apples to Apples, Cards Against Humanity, those kind of social card games that are just all about getting to meet new people would be another must for sure for those that are first starting off.
Cards Against Humanity, that one has skyrocketed big, like we were talking about some of the other games previously. Plus also Catan, I know that has become a major seller. I see that at major retailers all over, Amazon, Walmart, Target. I've seen them all carry that game, and I'll tell you what, those are some great choices to get people off the ground running as far as the board gaming scene. He is the man among all legends at Mario Party Wars. It doesn't happen without Salvador Villa involved in it, and you got to check it out today. Mario Party Wars, they are doing some great things all the time when it comes to the video gaming scene, plus their love of Mario Party. And, well, and you know what? I'll tell you what. I'm going to end this on this note as far as it's concerned. Mario Party has been named as one of the games that's coming out very soon from the Nintendo Switch, which I know at the time your group was really excited for, and I mean really excited for. So tell me your thoughts on Mario Party coming up for the Nintendo Switch. The trailer came out, a lot of good reviews on it so far, but I want to hear from the people that love Mario Party the most. What are your thoughts on Mario Party coming to the Nintendo Switch? We knew it was going to happen, my friend, but it's nice to see that's just around the corner.
Yeah, so I actually wasn't sure when Nintendo was going to release another Mario Party, given the way Star Rush and more toward that style that they tried going for in the most recent games, and didn't do too well with most consumers. But when I saw the trailer, and even like everyone else at Mario Party Wars for the most part watched it, they were just really excited for it. For me personally, they did exactly what I was hoping for the most part, in terms of what I feel the new route of Mario Party can become, which is a combination of what they tried with Star Rush, where they involved you basically recruiting characters that can add their own unique effects and abilities to help you win the game, along with like the whole concept of, I mean, they brought back the whole you can go around on board on your own concept, which I really thought was great. I wouldn't have minded the way Star Rush did it, where it was an open-ended board game where you all move at the same time. But for the most part, I mean, yeah, they're coming back with the traditional and adding with new concepts that I feel like are gonna work. Not to mention that there's 80 mini games in this new Mario Party game, which I think is the highest amount of mini games any Mario Party has been given so far. So there's also going to be a lot of opportunities to really play like new experiences for mini games, and maybe even bring back a little bit of like the old school mini game charm that a lot of us grew up with when the franchise first began.
Sorry, looking up the release date. This will be.
It's in October. It's in October.
Yeah, October 5th. That's right. It's coming October 5th to the Nintendo Switch. Super Mario Party. I know you're looking forward to it. I know the crazy kids at Mario Party Wars are definitely looking forward to it. And you know what? Everybody else out there, if they have any affinity at all for the Mario Party series, or just wants to go ahead and try something new when it comes out, definitely give Super Mario Party a look when it comes out October 5th to the Nintendo Switch. One last thing, my friend, to talk to you about, and that is for this Monday show. This part of our conversation is going to be aired for the episode 100 of the Pop Culture Cosmos show. And
yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I tell you what, it's been a long time coming. We've done a lot of great things, but I just want to say from the heart, man, from everything that Mario Party Wars has done to help us promote the pop culture cosmos, I cannot thank you and the staff of Mario Party Wars for everything you've done. You guys have been great, tremendous. You've lent your name to everything that we've done as far as from a positive standpoint. And each and every week you see on our different stations that we're on, and also on our different podcast networks that we're on, some of the descriptions right there from the great people at Mario Party Wars, Rob McCallum Films and whatnot, et cetera, et cetera. You've been right there with us from the beginning, and I just cannot thank you enough for not only all the advice that you've given over the period of time with the episodes that you've appeared on in regards to your recommendations on the board gaming scene, but also everything as well that you and your team have contributed to us with Pop Culture Cosmos from Mario Party Wars. And I just cannot thank you enough, my friend.
And the same for you, Gerald. Congrats on 100 episodes of Pop Culture Cosmos. That's a big milestone. We honestly appreciate that you guys have given us the same in return, helping promote what we're all about, allowing us to get involved with what you guys do, talking about board games or even other pop culture related stuff from time to time. Not to mention, at least for us, I mean, we just hit 5 years of Mario Party Wars, and that was probably our biggest accomplishment so far, just to have gone from the beginning up to 5 years at this point, with so many more opportunities for ourselves to come out for. And it's thanks to you and many of our other amazing supporters that keeps this happening. And yeah, you guys have been such a great impact for us as well. So thank you for that.
Well, it's greatly appreciated, my friend. 5 years, it should be congratulated upon, because I'll tell you what, as someone who was running Game Source for a while and has just recently brought it back, that was for several years. I know what a challenge could be to bring something off the ground from so small into something much larger. And we're doing it now with Pop Culture Cosmos, although we're only up to 2 years, my friend. We're still not up to you yet. I remember when I started Pop Culture Cosmos 2 years ago, I actually had red hair and I didn't have any gray around. But look at me now, my friend. Yeah, I'm an old man after 100 episodes. But I will say this, it's great having you guys a part of everything we do here at Pop Culture Cosmos, the PCC Multiverse, and everything that you do for our shows. And hopefully that we can not only continue it throughout the entirety of our program, but as we garner new radio stations, as we garner new podcast networks for our syndicated networks, I just want to make sure everybody out there continues to know about and continues to hear the good word of your great organization, Mario Party Wars. So Tell you what, Sal, just want to wish you and the team continued success with Mario Party Wars. And again, out there, if everybody wants to know the latest and greatest going on with Mario Party tournaments, and just see, some great things going on and interact with some people, just having a great time, check it out today. Mario Party Wars on all the major social media outlets, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch as well. It's been great, Sal, as always, my friend, and continued success to you. And I'm going to be hitting you up soon when I need more board gaming advice, because, after I get your autograph, of course.
Nah, and I'll be ready for that. I've got plenty more lined up for you guys.
Awesome. Okay, I guess MeepleCon will be coming up, and then maybe Unrivaled. You never know, that might come back again. So hopefully we'll wait and see.
True.
Exactly, and then people, when it gets colder, they're going to need something to do. Board games is just a ticket as well, my friend. So I will be getting you back for Christmas gift giving, Thanksgiving, holiday season, and all that. So it's a great time again for board gaming at any point in time of the year. So it's just always great to have you aboard here talking all the wonderful things about tabletop gaming.
Same for you, Gerald. Thank you so much for your time, for the opportunities, and just all the support you've given us.
No worries, my friend. As always, it's great having you part of the pop culture cosmos.